Plot twist, Riv, we kick GB off for a moment because I'm here with fRoD and artzin, and we're going to do a deep dive in today's matchup, specifically this comp you two are playing on Split. First of all, congratulations.
Thank
you
you.
won an insanely close game. And I want to come first to you, fRoD, and sort of talk about this comp, because playing the double dive, the raise, and the jet, it's something that teams played a lot in the past, but maybe not so much now. What's the decision to go to this comp in today?
I think the stage of VALORANT right now, the meta is pretty balanced out. All the agents, there's really no like overpowered agents. So I think this is just us trying to play towards our identity and the personalities that we have on the team. We have very skilled players, and we also have Art, who is he's a flex, he's a duelist, he's a sentinel. So I think for us, it's all about finding something that works for our team, creating some different kind of play style, and even though it might be the same comp as before, we're trying to bring some new stuff that maybe wasn't brought out a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think it certainly helps when you've got Art popping off on the raise and Osbos on the jet. I do want to talk about how you sort of attack the A site, though, because this is a pretty common play, similar to what we've seen some other teams run. But the basic idea is you on the raise, you're satcheling up into ramp with a sky flash, and then Osbos can jump up onto this box and then glide dash into the site. So I want to come to you for your opinion here and sort of ask what you're looking for in a hit and what your role is for the team as we watch this playthrough.
This play, we basically just threw me to the death to call attention for everyone, and we just take free sight. For example, they know I'm ramp right now, so I'm room botting the vents, and Aspas could kill the guy because I'm making so much noise here, and they're not aware of the smoke after the Aspas dash, you know? So
Yeah.
it's kind of it.
Right, yeah, because I think it's sort of hard to see. You're saying you're sending like the boom bot like off this wall into vents?
Yeah.
Because that player, and that's what you're swinging off of?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of appears like a little default at the beginning, and then it ends up being like a double dive on
play,
B Heaven.
Right.
Heaven, sorry.
Because the jet is pretty quiet. You could hear the updraft, but when she's actually gliding, you don't really hear that until she's dashed, and then she's already kind of where Osbos is right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
And
then
you could also do it with both. You could even swap agents too and have Jet go ramp, have Raze go double satchel like he did one round as well.
Right, so you have a lot of different ways to sort of mix it up. But at the end of the day, too, this Viper wall is pretty interesting because what it does is it sort of isolates Osbos on this side of the wall, and then you're fighting on the other. So as soon as you go down here, is the call to come and bring down this Viper wall so Osbos can sort of turn and pinch in on that one player?
We only use our Viper wall to cover me as I go ramps, and after that we put it down so we can like fight together, me and Aspas. But the thing is, they had the Viper wall, so I couldn't fight with him that much. I died to the Viper ropes, but it's still it's a good dive. It's a good like tactic, you know. And the comp we're playing, we need to play like that.
Yeah, because right, their Viper is also trying to block off space. Now, once you get into this position, the round gets a little bit crazy. It's a 3-on-2 here, but since you're dead, as IGLing, do you think it's a little bit easier to call like the macro game? Because I imagine when you're diving into site, when you're taking a lot of fights, that can be a little harder.
Yeah, it's much easier than me being alive because I already have all the info we got. I already have what skills I see. So yeah, it's kind of much more easier. But at the same time, our team is so proactive that sometimes I just need to show them the info I got, and they do the rest, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that can certainly help. And I just want to watch the minimap during this play because the Omen's going to send a Paranoia out. And then you also have a Seekers, I think, that goes and sees the Cypher. At this point, it's 3-on-2, so you're rotating over to the B site. Now, fRoD, I want you to sort of watch this round out and maybe micromanage. Obviously, a big concern when you're a coach, you see a numbers advantage come up, make sure we don't throw the numbers, right?
Yeah.
So how would you personally like to see this micro go down and like sort of rate your team as they play this post plan?
I mean, I think right off the start, when we hear that Cypher, he's about to ult, get that info, we know that their retake's going to be a little bit slower and longer. So at this point, we can kind of be in some, really weird positions to kind of throw that Cypher ult a little bit back and then kind of go back to our standard type of crossfires, pillars, heaven setup. So
Yeah.
I think it was really well played by us there, especially the guy who's trying to throw off the Cypher ult and, just trying to trade off of each other. Shinam was in a really good position, so we're just basically trying to distract for him and allow for our player in an advanced position to get that free one and turn it to a 3-on-1 at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up working really nicely. And Art, I'm curious if something you're thinking about in a post plant here, right? Because the spike is planted, your team could easily fall to main. Are you thinking about like options like, oh, could Cypher cage or could Omen smoke to make it harder to spam? Is that a choice to stay and play on site?
Yeah, kind of, but when we have numbers, when you have advantage, we just need a crossfire and we need to be simple. We need to do that much stuff. We just need to be simple, you know. We got someone playing off Chinam, for example, and here we had they're both info. We know they were 2B heaven, so guys, just crossfire. That's it.
Yeah, and it ends up working out very nice. So we can watch that play out one more time. I think Osbos almost had like 30 kills in this game at the end, but he finds some at the end as well. Thanks again for walking us through this round, for breaking it all down. I'm going to send you over to Golden Boy because he's got some more fun questions for all of you, and congrats again.
Follow the car.
Oh,
What's the worst that could happen? Surely it won't run into anything. You know, look at you go. Oh, Tactibear, you, Wily Minx, you. All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome to the Match Point, everyone. Here, of course, joined by fRoD and artzin. Thank you for doing that. We always love having an opportunity to be able to not just pick the players' brains, but also to be able to pick your brain as well, because you're there aging excessively as it's all happening at that time. Let's talk about this kickoff, though, and the way things have gone and how this has been. Didn't start off the way that you guys wanted it. What was that conversation like with the boys to get them back in focus?
I mean, that 100 Thieves game was really tough. We think that they're a fantastic team, so we knew it was going to be a very tough one. I think we just started a really little slow. I think that's kind of our problem right now. We keep dropping that first map, and I think for us, we just have to focus as much as we can to come into the game as strong as possible. And you know, I think as we haven't been, we were one of the last teams to finalize our roster, so. We're only going to get stronger as we can continue practicing and taking these experiences, and thankfully we're making a really solid run in this lower bracket to continue to get these guys that experience, especially our rookies, Shinam and Cortezia, that they're really shining right now. And I think that once they continue to get that confidence, you know, it's going to be tough for teams to play.
For sure. I mean, we're kind of seeing it with Cortezia right now. I mean, you know, guys out there answering interviews like a pro, right? Like he's been here the whole time.
He's at home.
Yeah, he's at home. You love to see that. But there were some changes that you guys made coming into this. We talked about it before. You going in, artzin, into the IGL role. Was a pretty interesting one, especially considering, you know, you play Raze on some of these maps and you're the tip of the spear for the team typically. Were you worried? Were you excited for the opportunity to take on the IGL? What was that experience like, that conversation like?
Yeah, for me, it was a kind of surprise because fRoD just came to me and said, hey, you're going to be the IGL. I mean...
was there a reason why you went to him specifically?
Yeah, it's because like me and fRoD, we worked together for a long time, so I already know how he thinks the game, and I got taught by him. So yeah, it's more easier to me to understand what is he saying, what he wants
his
to
vision
do. Yeah,
very well.
So that's one of the... I think the principal answer for that, you know?
Yeah, the reason why is because you guys have just such good chemistry. Is that how you felt as well?
Yeah, I mean, last year with our team, we were struggling so much and we were lacking so much of the fundamentals that we just basically broke that down. And then towards the end of the year, Art got to see a little bit more of that wacky side of me with the comms, the strategies, things like that. And he's one of the smartest players I've ever been around and being able to teach. So it was very easy for him to understand. And you know, it was a tough decision in the sense because it's not something that you probably should do between the middle of the tournament.
Yeah.
But I felt like this was absolutely necessary, and also because we have someone like Art with the talent, as well as the intelligence to kind of lead our team. And the other advantage that he gives me so much is that since we're on the same page, there's a lot of times that he calls off a pause or says, I have a good idea, this and that. And that allows me for moments like this when the match gets a little bit tighter that I have two pauses still in the pocket. So I think that kind of dynamic is really helping us a lot. And, you know, that camaraderie that we have, which is something that we lack as a team since we're a new team, but me and him have that. And I think that it's
But you
going very
definitely
well.
get the vibe. You see the chemistry. I don't know. I'm seeing it. When you guys walk out, y'all look cool. You look like chill. You're having a good time with one another. And that goes a really long way, right? It takes you quite far. I mean, look where you are right now.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Now, last question before we move on, just because I'm curious, and we've been talking about this a lot, and we even had a whole segment dedicated to how MIBR and teams like MIBR are approaching the meta right now. You guys, and you talked about it briefly with Ender, how you feel like every agent right now in this game is viable. But it's interesting because it feels like across every region, everyone's like, Tejo, 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 but yet you guys aren't really buying into the hype. Why is that?
For starters, we're worried about our team. We're not worried about other teams. We're trying to make our own stuff. And to be honest, I think the game has never been in a better position where I'm sure this is what Riot wants, which is for a game to be very balanced, no broken agents.
Yeah.
So right now, I think that, maybe some teams are falling into the trap of playing the new, when in reality, it should be what you're comfortable and what you can bring out at a high level.
Yeah.
So while everyone's trying to change compositions, trying to bring some new stuff to the table, sometimes it's better to sharpen the kit that you have. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So for us, and also, I'm not saying that we won't do that in the future, and I love creating different compositions, but a big part of what I've done with creating different comps and different metas has been taking into account the personalities and play styles of my players, and I think that this style that we're running now, whether it was a comp from 2022 or whatever, it's something that suits our play style and how we can go. And we have players that play every agent, all of those agents at a very high level. So there's no need for us to force something when reality is that if we just play what we're doing the right way, it's not going to make much of a difference.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Play a game, play what makes you feel good. So far, it's worked out quite well for y'all. Got a top 3. Speaking of, let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket and where we are right now, because tomorrow we have our first best of 5 lower bracket final. And it's crazy for, the MIBR organization. I mean, fRoD, you were brought onto this team to do this exact thing, to bring this team to greatness, just as you're doing coaching this squad. I know the boys are a big part of it, but this has to feel like an awesome achievement for you when you came in from Loud, going into MIBR and having to start anew. How does it feel, man?
It feels really good. I think we just needed a hard reset as an org, and I think that this was something that really helped out in getting Ospas makes life easier.
I was gonna say real fast, is it nice playing with Ospas?
Yeah, I mean, you can see after today, right?
My guy was robbed of his 30 bombs, robbed of it. Maybe he'll get it tomorrow.
Sometimes this happens,
Yeah, tomorrow, there's another day to play.
It's not a big deal for him.
That's incredible, man. That dude is an absolute beast. Well, guys, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to chat with us, to do the break it down as well with Ender. That was awesome, and best of luck tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing the match, and if it's anything like today, good God, this is going to be exciting. That's going to do it for us here today, folks. That is our show. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you right here tomorrow. But for now, enjoy your Samsung SSD fast replay. See you soon, guys. Take care. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no, of course.
We'll have one of those guaranteed spots at Masters Bangkok, and of course it's 2 of our biggest rivals. These guys are going to throw down. Here comes Jorg. He's on the side, and Narrow gets absolutely flattened. Oh, and Jorg picks up Bang. Jorg coming from behind. Zelsis isn't ready for it. The third to Jorg, and now he dropped, whipping it up to shake the Yoru. Jorg at 4, and G2 cannot be stopped. Hey, Jorg, that's a little bit audacious, I'll be honest with you. Here come the Sentinels now. A little bit lax on this round, perhaps. The protocol's not quite airtight. It's a flawless round. The Sentinels caught out by the Null Command and suppressed, but taking us down. And it's on Zelsis, up to Human, a 1 versus 3 to salvage the day for Sentinels. Professor P puts the period on the sentence, and G2 will claim Abyss. C's committed to that as well. Jorg's on the corner. Jorg's on the corner. Oh, it's carnage. 4-4. The Jorg sat up on the swing. Right, has the wrap. He has a golden opportunity to send this one out to the fences. It's just Valen standing. He'll go through the wall. Absolutely unhinged stuff from G2's IGL and Bang. This is just the right spot. Zelsis with that recovered outlaw. Trent now realizes he's going to be in a bit of danger if he sticks around. John gets there with the Sheriff, second with the wrap. It's not good enough. Trent for 4. Hang on, where did he come from? And G2 is more than just a statement. G2-0. It's a lifestyle, baby.
This team is just simply excellence. Finally, here it's Crew and MIBR. Elimination again on the line for these teams, and two of these teams as well that have just gone on an absolute surge through that lower bracket. A turn of events. The armchair analysts fuming. It's going to be an all popped off. Shanum no more for this war, but up and over comes around as well. Aspas side the smokes as well. Pop flash through and around. MIBR just dropping the absolute hammer onto that Crew exec. Stagger into the side as well, but it's split them up. And Shy tears them to pieces. 15 HP though. They'll take the round win at the end of the day. A lot of these sights and defenses. Trying to take this fight straight to the man, and then blinded up. Out through the back though, still Melzer dropping these players and popping heads.
Sick performance by Melzer.
And with that, Crew find that 13th, and map 1 is theirs. It's raw gunplay, needs to do the job. Quick scope to answer back. Rare whiffage, Aspas up and around, and drafted away, and sky high, just slicing and dicing.
Insane ace from Aspas.
Trying to make their mark known here with Aspas leading that charge. Just popping heads all over the place. Can't imagine he's going to be getting away with too much more. 7 bullets. That is crispy business.
It's a one-man wrecking ball.
Absolutely ridiculous.
A really good map from MIBR there.
Forces it out, but the players are already in the sight. Crew, they need this one. They're desperate for it, but listen, they're going straight into the meat grinder. That is MIBR.
What a read.
Cancel to the TP and you cancel the call. Not quite what Mazzino's hitting like this. Knives in through the back of the site. Shy and rifle play is working miracles. Melzer repositions and fakes it out. Does artzin believe it? No chance to. It's a Red Bull clutch. He needs help and he needs it now. Still with that stinger. By the dog. Wait a minute. That could be the difference maker. Has to go for the full reload here. And Aspas. MIBR dash away those hopes and dreams. There can only be one taking them through the lower bracket run. And for MIBR, it's all smiles today. They get their chance to book that ticket to Bangkok.